Hey, Steve. Steph won the Twyman-Stokes Team of the Year award. In the past, that's gone to Mike Conley, Jrue Holiday, great players, but not in the same tier of superstar as Steph. What is it about his leadership style, how he is as a teammate, that's a little different from other superstars in this league?
Well, what makes Steph unique is just his blend of humility and humor and confidence. He just sets a great tone every day. Loves practice, loves the work. So you come in, and the vibe is where it should be, day after day after day, because of Steph.
Can you give an update on what Jimmy's status is for this game?
Well, we're hopeful that he'll play, but he's got to warm up first, and we'll see.
Did he go through the shoot around and everything
Yeah.
with everyone else?
Yeah, I mean, it was very light. We just walked through stuff.
I know you said you talked to Rick maybe about how many minutes he might be able to play. What did that conversation go like, and do you expect him to be on a minutes restriction if
He's not on a minutes restriction. It'll just be based on how he's feeling.
Coach, Houston obviously down 2-1. You'd think they're going to come out with a lot of desperation. How do you guys match that tonight?
A lot of desperation of our own, you know. I mean, that's what these the playoffs are all about. It's just, you know, how hard teams are playing. You can see how physical the games are around the league. And, you know, when a team is down, you saw Denver the other night, you know, down 2-1 and how hard they played. And this is what it's about, you know, responding to the circumstances. And, you know, if you're up, like we are, if you're coming off a win like we are, you have to respond to those circumstances too. And so it's about the force and the effort level and getting every loose ball, every rebound, and bringing the fight.
Hi, Steve, over here. As you probably noticed, the Lakers played Luka and LeBron heavy minutes yesterday. I'm just curious philosophically sort of how you balance the urgency of these games with the reality of Steph being 37 and Draymond and Jimmy, how you sort of tip those scales.
Yeah, I mean, every coach has to coach his own team based on circumstances, based on what that coach knows and how he feels about his team and how his players are doing and all that stuff. So we all have very difficult decisions to make every game. And I have no doubt that, you know, if a coach played his bench and lost, then the narrative would be, how could you, you know, not play your starters more? So I know how you guys work, Ron. I know how this game works. So, but that's the game. That's the, you know, the way this all plays out. We all have to base our decisions on our gut, and you know, you get judged on the results, and that's perfectly fair. But we all have to decide, you know, what that means. So.
I guess what I'm asking you is, like, last game you had, thanks, Tim. Last game you had Steph at, I think, 40, right at 40.
Yeah.
What's sort of your ideal target for him, given his age, but given the importance of these games?
Well, with Jimmy out, we knew we were going to have to play Steph more. So if Jimmy plays tonight and looks like himself, then hopefully we can get Steph down closer to 35.
Obviously, you always want Jimmy to play, and you did. But winning without him, getting guys other minutes, maybe expanding the rotation a little bit like you did last game. Is there a good thing out of that? Can you carry some of that for some of these guys who hadn't been playing as much into the rest of the series and the rest of the playoffs?
Yeah, I think guys gain confidence from you know, playoff success, and they gain it individually. They also gain it as a team. And I think one of the things that happens in the playoffs too is you settle in, you know, after the first couple games, and it becomes more normalized. You know, playoff basketball. You get used to the vibe and the feel and the intensity, and when guys have a little success early on, I think it bodes well for them to continue playing with confidence.
How do you feel? How do you feel about your offense facing that double big lineup from Houston? And when Adams is on the floor, do you think you'll go to a Haka-Adams kind of situation?
Well, we did it last game based on what was happening. I think we scored 1 point or one basket in about 7 or 8 minutes. So we were really doing it just to change the flow of the game and see if we could disrupt things a little bit. And you know, it didn't really work, but it's a tactic we always have in our back pocket. So their big lineup has been good for them. especially defensively. And obviously they rebound well, so we have to be prepared for that.
Coach, what's the difference between what you've seen from Jimmy Saturday versus today? And also, what did you see that made you even comfortable considering him coming back after such a hard fall?
Tonight or the other night?
Tonight.
Before game 3, you mean?
Yeah. Or did you even really consider him before game 3?
I mean, it was a possibility, and up until game time. But yeah, I mean, I listen to Rick on all this stuff. That's that's his area. He and Jimmy have been working together every day since the injury, and so I trust those guys. I trust Jimmy, and we'll see if he can go tonight. But and we'll play it by ear as he plays, as we see how he feels. But it's always the performance team's decision on these things.
Did Rick see something 2 days later that makes him feel more comfortable that you could share?
For sure. Yeah,
That you
that's
could
why
share.
his status has been, I would say, upgraded, even though he's still questionable. I think there's a much more reasonable chance for him to play tonight than there was in game 3.
Steve, your closing lineup was really effective in Game 3. What worked for that lineup, and how might that change if Jimmy can play?
We'll see. Every game's different, and we have to read the game. Gary was working, getting him the ball in the pocket against their blitz was very effective. I imagine they'll have a counter to that tonight, and so that may necessitate a different tactic, different lineup. We have to read it.
So we're in a more physical series this season. So how do you prepare your team? How do you motivate your team to get ready for a physical game like this one?
Just like punch them a couple times, wrap them up, hug them a lot, remind them that you're going to feel a lot of that tonight. No, it's film work, and it's playoff basketball. I mean, it is physical, and the guys know that, and they're ready. They're ready to go.
Steve, Saturday was your 101st win in the playoffs as a head coach in this league. What would you tell yourself 10 years ago about what it takes to be successful in the playoffs and just the experience that you've had maybe just these last 10 years?
What would I tell myself 10 years ago? I hope Steph Curry is healthy for the next 11 years. I mean, when you start out, you don't really know what to expect. But what became apparent pretty quickly was that I was coaching a group of incredible players who were not only talented but really competitive, and that's the key. This last really 13 years, I would say. The 2 years prior to me being here, were playoff runs, and just a lot of great talented players, and there's been some continuity that's helped us quite a bit based on Steph and Dre, and before that Andre, Clay. Doesn't happen very often anymore. If you follow the league, people move around all the time, so it's pretty remarkable that this group has stayed together for as long as it has. Thank you.